Hi everyone, I'm Gwen. Welcome to At Home with Gigi. Today we're going to be creating some beautiful lemon DIYs and getting ready for summer. Just beautiful, fresh colors and all on a budget. So let's get started. Let's get this project started. We're going to give this pizza pan 2 coats of the Ultra Matte spray paint from Rust-Oleum. After that's dry, we're going to move on to our next step. Y'all, I have had this scrapbook paper in my stash for forever, and we're going to be adding it to the bottom of the pizza pan. And for my template, I'm going to be using this round sign from the Dollar Tree. It fits almost perfectly inside the pizza pan, so it makes cutting out a circle just so easy. I'm just going to outline the sign, and then I'll move on and cut it out, and then we'll get this paper attached to the bottom of the pizza pan. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Gwen. So happy to have you here. We love all things DIY, and if you're returning subscribers, thank you so much for coming back. I truly appreciate you, and I hope you'll leave me a comment down below and let me know if you're returning or if you're new here. I'm adding a layer of Mod Podge to the bottom of the pizza pan. You want to make sure you get enough because this scrapbook paper is thick, but I have a tendency to way overdo, so I try my best to just go in with a light layer first and then smooth it out and then see if I need more. And I'm just going to line up my paper as best I can. I got it off just a tiny bit, but I was able to readjust it, and then just using a combination of my hand and my favorite thing in the world to use, plastic wrap, and I'm going to be using my brayer as well. Just smoothing it out and making sure I'm getting out any air bubbles or any excess Mod Podge that might be up under this scrapbook paper. We're going to add beads to the inside of the pizza pan, and I just did not have the color green that I wanted, so I just kept mixing together Holly Branch and Snow White. They're both from Apple Barrel until I got the color at least close to what was in my head. And by the way, these beads came from Amazon. I got a huge packet of them years ago, and finally I'm almost through this packet of beads. But anyway, I'm just going to thread them onto some twine, and then I find it much easier if my beads are on twine or string, whatever you want to call it, before I hot glue them to the inside of the pizza pan. Now, you're certainly more than welcome to glue them one by one. That's too tedious for me, so I just put them on the twine, and as you can see, we're just going to hot glue them all the way around the inside of the pizza pan. Now, before I hot glue the end of the beads down, as you can see, I'm looping the twine back through that last bead and just kind of pulling it snug, and then I'll tie a knot there just for some extra security, snip off that excess twine, and then just hot glue those ends down. I went ahead and hot glued some pieces of floral foam at the bottom of the pizza pan off camera, and we're going to be adding in some greenery and some florals. Now, this is strictly whatever you might have on hand. Y'all know when I'm doing a video with greenery in it, I always talk about my never-ending bag of greenery. It's because I recycle my greenery and try to reuse it in other projects, and I'm just going to be adding it in. Now, I do have a couple of new pieces that I'll be using. I picked up some of these little white flowers and the little delicate greenery that's laying there at the very edge of the screen from Michael's whenever I was there 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they had that huge 70% off sale. But again, this is a project you can absolutely just make with anything that you might have on hand. I was inspired by a picture I saw on Pinterest. It just had just a white background on the pizza pan and then just some flowers, and I decided I wanted to bump it up just a little bit, add some scrapbook paper, and we're going to be adding some lemons in as well because this is a lemon video, and I'm excited about this, y'all. I have never made a lemon DIY on my channel. I went back and looked, and I was like, really? I can't believe that, because I love lemons. We're going to add in some of these beautiful bright yellow lemons just to give it an additional pop of color, and I'm just popping out that end there. And y'all, I keep my greenery stems just for little projects like this, and it always comes in handy. I hardly ever throw anything away. I've become such a hoarder since I've started crafting. But anyway, just adding a little more hot glue on the ends there, and I'm just going to pop them into the arrangement. No rhyme or reason, just whatever makes my eyes happy. And the lemons some of them came from Hobby Lobby. Some of them I had on hand already. I think maybe even a couple of the larger ones came from Dollar Tree. And then these little teeny tiny ones, I love them. They're so cute. They came from Amazon. I'll link those down below, and you'll see those in another project soon. I do want to cover up the foam there at the bottom, so I'm just adding some hot glue, and then we're going to go in with some of this really pretty bright green moss. I found this at Walmart. I cannot find any at my local Dollar Trees anymore, so I bought this huge bag. Actually, you probably get more bang for your buck by getting this at Walmart. It was huge and for like less than $6, I believe. Anyway, I'm just adding some across the bottom of the foam there, and we're just going to call this project finished. And y'all, I think it is just turned out super, super cute. I love this, but y'all tell me what your thoughts are. Y'all, I am loving these bright greens and yellows. It's just so beautiful, and the white thrown in. It's just perfect for late spring and through summer. This is going to go in my kitchen, and it is going to be so beautiful. As you can see, I did add a hanger to the back, just a piece of rope. We covered it with a little bit of ribbon, and you can hang it up, or you can have it setting on an easel and have a shelf sitter. But oh, I love this. For this DIY, we're going to be using this cutting board from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to start by removing this top piece from the cutting board, and I'm just using my scraper and trying to gently pry up the edges where these thumbtacks are holding it in place. We're not going to be using this piece, but we'll save it for a project for another time. As you can see, the paper did rip just a little bit removing that piece, but that's okay. This is going to be the back of the cutting board, so I just did not want to deal with removing all that paper, and I will off camera cover it with some brown paper just to give it a nice clean finish. But right now we're going to give it a good sand down, and then I'll wipe it down just to remove any residue, and then we'll move on to the next step. We're going to be using Rust-Oleum's Linen White, and I am almost to the bottom of this can, and we're going to give this 2 coats of paint. We're going to be adding fabric to the front of the cutting board once the paint has dried, and I have never decoupaged with fabric, so this is going to be new to me. But anytime I decoupage anything, napkin, tissue, whatever, I like to paint my surface white because it just makes whatever you're using, it just makes that color just really pop and seem more vibrant. Now once the paint is dry, I'm going to go in with a pretty heavy layer of Mod Podge. Now I did not have any fabric Mod Podge, didn't even think about getting some for this project. So I'm just using regular old Mod Podge, and we're going to see how that works. And once it's dry, we'll move on to the next step. Isn't this fabric so pretty? I love this color, and I actually got this at Dollar Tree, but I've had it for so long, it actually cost $1 whenever I bought it. But anyway, I'm just cutting out this little square here. And then once I cut this out, I'm going to flip it over, and you can see I've traced the outline of the cutting board on the back side of the fabric, and then I'm just going to cut as close as I can along this line because I'm trying to have very, very little overhang on the cutting board so I don't have to do a lot of trimming. To attach the fabric to the cutting board, we're going to use what I call the iron-on method. And I'm just lining up the fabric as best I can on there, and then I'm going to place a sheet of parchment paper on top. Now I have my iron on like medium to medium high because the fabric is a lot thicker than tissue or napkin that you would use to decoupage with, and everybody does it differently. I like to start in the center and just kind of work my way out and go all the way around my surface, making sure I'm reactivating all of that Mod Podge just to make sure this fabric is going to adhere to the cutting board. Off camera, I went ahead and trimmed off any excess material that was hanging over the edges. It wasn't a lot, but there was a little bit. And now I'm going in with a very generous layer of Mod Podge because I want it to stiffen up the fabric, or at least that's my hope, and it did. because we're going to be adding a basket to the front of the cutting board, and I don't want it to pull the material or make it sag. And it also had the benefit of stopping the fraying along the sides of the cutting board where I cut off the excess. We're going to add this basket, which is also from the Dollar Tree, to the front of the cutting board. Now I'm just using a combination of this super glue from the Dollar Tree because that's all I have on hand right now, and just a little bit of hot glue for immediate hold. And in case I forgot to mention, I did let the cutting board set overnight just to make sure all of that Mod Podge I put on there to seal the fabric in had time to completely dry. We're going to add this little sign that says Farm Fresh to the front of the cutting board, and I'm just going to give it one quick coat of Waverly chalk paint in the color ink, and of course let it dry, and then again just using a little bit more of the super glue and just attach it to the front of the cutting board. We're going to add some of this white nylon rope, and this came from the Dollar Tree as well, along the outside edges of the cutting board. Now, if I had thought about doing this before adding the basket, it probably would have made it a little bit easier, but it wasn't that difficult. I'm just adding some hot glue, and I'm just starting at the bottom up under the basket because I want to kind of camouflage where the two ends are going to meet, and then I'm just going to continue all the way around the cutting board. If you're enjoying my video and you're not already subscribed, I'd like to invite you to hit that subscribe button, become a part of the At Home with Gigi YouTube channel. Guys, I am working so hard to grow my channel, and by hitting that subscribe button, the like button, and leaving me a comment if you like, it's a free way to help support my channel, and it would just mean the world to me. I just felt like the cutting board just needed something else. Y'all know me, more is more, right, when you're crafting? And I pulled together some ribbon. Some of it came from Dollar Tree, some from Hobby Lobby, some from Amazon. I think the little blue check even came from Walmart, if I remember correctly. But anyway, just kind of put it all together, and I just love how it turned out. I think it was just the perfect little extra pop of color that it needed. And y'all, I am so loving the little yellow ribbon that's there on top. I don't know if you can tell, but they're little yellow flowers. And for whatever reason, I think it is just so pretty. I'm just going to add a little bit of this really pretty green moss to the bottom of the basket. And then these lemons came from Amazon. And y'all, they are so stinking cute. They are like in little clusters. I think of them as grape clusters, but I think they're called cherry lemons. I'll link it down below. They are just so cute. And I'm just going to pop them into the basket and just kind of let them drape over the sides. I just love these colors all together. The blue, the yellow, the white. It's just such a beautiful, bright, fresh pop of color. And as soon as I get all the Easter and spring stuff out of my kitchen, this is going to go in there along with my other DIY that we just made together. I can't wait, y'all. I love it. Thank y'all so much for being here with me today. I hope you've enjoyed these DIYs as much as I have. Don't forget, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free, and it would mean the world to me. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.